Hi, welcome to my movie review channel. This is Maceo Lewis, ML Movie Reviews. Before I get into this movie, Y2K, I just want to let you know this is a spoiler review. So if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want to be spoiled, just hit the pause button, go see the movie, come back to this review channel. And I just want to encourage you to hit the subscribe button. It's free, so you don't have to pay for anything. The subscribe just give you notice of when I post new material on my YouTube channel. So let me just start off with the likes with this movie, Y2K. I thought it was humorous. When I talk about the humor, I'm talking specifically about the dialogue in the movie. Now, this is not like a original screenplay, best adapted screenplay or original screenplay dialogue or anything like that. It was just funny. I just thought some of the lines were funny like throughout the movie. I'm thinking in particular some of the side characters like the bully who was bullying the two main characters. I thought his lines were funny. I thought the boner scene was funny at the party when the kids are like talking at the party and they're like, "Hey, that guy's acts a full of boner," and he literally has a boner talking to a girl. I thought that was funny, and I thought Fred Durst was funny too. Now I'm not familiar with. I mean, I'm familiar with the band Limp Bizkit, but I never really grew up on their music. I just know they had songs back in the day, but I didn't know who was in the band. So when his character first pops up in the movie, I could tell he was a cameo of some sort. I just didn't know who it was, but it was clear who it was as the movie went on. But I thought his lines were funny too. So overall, I thought the most of the dialogue was funny in the movie. I like the late 90s feel. When I say late 90s, this is the era where the internet is not as fast as it is today. Back then, you had like slow download speeds. Everybody had AOL when it goes, welcome, you got mail. I mean, that was late 90s, right? So they had that in there. The kids were downloading music on CDs. Nowadays, we're using like, I guess MP3s or well, I don't know what it's called, but the stuff you use to put on your phone. Video stores, of course. I'm surprised they didn't have Blockbuster, but also back in those days, you had those mom and pop stores too. So it wasn't just Blockbuster, and so yeah, I thought that part was pretty nostalgic. Now let me get to the dislikes. So speaking of late '90s, so I remember I did grow up in the Y2K era. And I know heading into the new year of 1999, people were afraid. This is the Y2K problem. People were afraid that there was going to be computer glitches because when you look at the dates, they all pretty much ended in nine, and then it was like the '90s, so 99, right? And so what they were worried about is once it passed 99 back to zero, everything would be going to chaos and everything would shut down because the computers wouldn't know how to, interpret those numbers. So that was the gist of the fear of Y2K. It wasn't that the computers are going to form like Voltron and form this collective and start, killing humans and enslaving them. I don't remember that at all as being the fear wrapped in Y2K. Now, maybe there were some people like that, but I just don't relate to that as being the general worry about Y2K. Now, don't get me wrong, like, there was the idea that maybe in 1999 the world would end, right? I mean, we've seen that before, and that's again in 2012. But the end of the world was more. I thought, at least from what I remember, was that it's going to come out with a computer glitch, not with computers, enslaved stuff. And we've seen this stuff before too, right? With computers enslaving man before this movie, 2001: Space Odyssey, Terminator, even The Matrix. That year it came out in 1999, I believe, if I recall correctly. So I mean, it's not like an original idea or anything like that. But yeah, I just remember the scenario that everyone was afraid of was the computer glitch, and we saw some of that too in this movie with the planes crashing into it. I thought that was an idea, a representation. What we feared was that things would go into chaos and planes would be crashing each other. But there was only one scene of that. That wasn't even a major part of the movie. So that was one of the problems I had with the movie. I thought the message of the movie was inconsistent by the end. So, I mean, basically, the message of the movie, they pretty much said it like in the third act. But, I mean, basically, humans are so dependent on technology that they're enslaved by it. I mean, that's basically what they said, like in that scene when they're literally taking humans and putting chips in their head. Uh, but by the end of the movie, like, Ash is still using the camera. They're using the iPod 5 years later. So I don't know. I thought the movie was trying to say that yeah, we're so enslaved we need to get away from technology, but they're still using it. So I'm like, okay, so what's your message and what's the point of this movie? So I don't know. I just wasn't quite clear, and maybe there is no point to some movie. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it. But yeah, I thought the movie was kind of silly. I mean, it wasn't. It was kind of like supposed to be a horror movie, a little bit like a scary horror movie, but it leaned way too much with the silly and not enough into the scary. So I couldn't really take anything seriously. So when characters are dying, I'm not really feeling the impact because I didn't really care about the characters. Even when the second lead character dies, it wasn't like really. I didn't really feel anything with it because it was just a silly movie. It's not something to be taken seriously. Even though the stakes were the end of the world, it just didn't feel that way to me when I'm watching the movie. So, and I thought the kills, honestly, for a horror movie just weren't that good. Honestly, I've seen way better kills in other movies of this type. I thought they were just way over the top, and they didn't make me laugh. They didn't make me squirm. It's stuff I've seen before, or just stuff was like, Again, it just goes back to the stakes. I just wasn't really feeling it. But look, this is not going to be an Oscar contender type movie. It's not Shakespeare. Um, if you ask me, put me to a lie detector, did I have fun watching the movie? Yeah, I had fun watching the movie. I just had fun listening, to these people talk and make fun of each other, and like that's what I liked about the movie. So overall, yeah, it's a weak. I would say it's a weak recommend. So you can either check it out in the theater or check it out when it comes on streaming. So anyway, so just subscribe to my channel at ML Movie Reviews on YouTube. Again, hit the subscribe button so you can get alerts as to when my next videos come up. And again, it's free, no charge. And I'll see you next time.